In many ways, Jesus is doing exactly the same thing that Nehemiah was doing, that Paul was doing. Because he wasn't really talking about himself. He was talking about the people who were listening to him and saying to them, it's time to wake up. It's time to look at who we are and who God is. God is doing an incredible thing. God is initiating a new world, a place of peace, of goodness, of justice, of reconciliation, a place where people truly do care for one another, a place where ultimately there will be no more poverty and even no more illness because of the way all of us grow in love. But, he says to them, it's being fulfilled, but you've got to realize it. You've got to wake up. You've got to notice what's going on. You've got to remember who you are and who God is. And so I think all three of the lessons tonight ask us that question. Who are you? Who am I? And who is God for us? And who are we for one another? What are the ways in which you and I need to wake up? The ways in which at times we let ourselves be lulled into sleep, not really realizing the incredible capacity for love, for goodness, for justice that God has given us, or ways at times perhaps in which even we become afraid to stand for what is right. It's time, Jesus says to us, Paul says to us, Nehemiah says to us, as he did to his own people, time perhaps to wake up. Of course, the great difficulty of trying to understand what are the things that we're missing, what are the things that we don't see, is by the very fact that we don't see them. We don't know that we don't see them. So we need to find ways of being able to wake up more. We need to find ways of being able to see more clearly. That's why next week, as we celebrate Candlemas, as we rejoice in the fact that the days are getting longer, as we don't worry too much about what the groundhog is going to say or not say, we do not only think back to Christmas, but start looking forward to Lent. You might be saying to yourself, wow, he's talking about Lent already, and actually Easter does come late this year. But it's not too late now for us to start to look for the ways in which we can allow that privileged time to help us wake up, to help us see ourselves more clearly, to help us see and understand God more clearly. And all sorts of ways will be offered to us. God's grace to us is so rich during that season when it does come. But I would just like to mention one particular thing. And I mentioned it even now, a number of weeks before Lent begins, to invite you to think about committing yourself to it. Something we've already been speaking about, and that's the Alpha program that we will be doing during Lent and into Easter time. It's going to be a real commitment, and many of us are going to say, wait a minute, he's asking for 7 weeks, 1 evening a week? I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if I can do that. And yet, I can tell you in complete honesty, because Sister Diane, members of the Pastoral Council, and I have looked into the ways in which this has been experienced in the other parishes where they've done it. The same number of people are there on the last week who were there on the first week. And that never happens in church functions, as you know. Because it does catch people, it does engage people. What is it? It's meeting together for dinner so that there can be a growing sense of solidarity with one another at the tables. It's then listening to a short video and then a discussion led by one person at the table on that particular issue, something having to do with our living the Christian faith. It Doesn't sound all that much. But that sort of dynamic builds over the course of the weeks and becomes something ultimately that is very powerful. So, I would invite you to begin thinking about it. We've got several weeks before we'll be asking a commitment, but it is a commitment. You can't just show up and then maybe come back 2 weeks later or whatever, because the relationship of the people at the discussion table becomes an important part of the process. So tonight, we just heard 3 scripture lessons, all inviting us. Let's look at the ways in which we might be missing the point about our faith. Let's look at the ways in which we might have allowed ourselves to become too complacent in our faith. Let's allow ourselves to look at the ways in which we need perhaps to wake up, to understand more deeply who we are, who God is. Because that's a gift of the Holy Spirit. And that's the gift that will enable us more and more truly to become people of love, truly to become people who know what we're doing as we gather here.